Hi there, friends. This is Jeb Adams, and I'm here again with Singer Model 500J, Gina. And today we are going to take, momentarily, in about 2 minutes, we're going to take this thing apart. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on its back, and we're going to take the screws out of the bed cushion threads, and we're going to take the bed cushions off and replace them. But since we're taking the screws off, we're going to clean them with the cam stack that we're going to be cleaning here today. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the cam stack apart and clean it in Crud Cutter, dishwater soap, and then rinsing it with dishwater soap and water, and then water, and blow drying it. And that's the first thing we're going to do. We're not going to put it together in this video. That'll be another video to follow this one. And the other thing is we're going to take the rubber bed cushions off, set them aside. These ones, they're not, they still have some vitality in them. They may just be a bit dirty because they're not crumbling and they're not disintegrating. So there's still some vitality there. If I can keep them as extras, I will, because they're expensive. They're about $2, almost $2 Canadian per thing. No, that's not correct. It cost me just under $7 Canadian to put 4 of the bed cushions on that machine. So anyway, less talking and more action. I'm going to move that out of the way. That's our cleaning the cam stack containers, and we'll get Dolly Gina down there like that. And we'll start right with this one right here. They're nicely lined up. There's a little bit of resistance, but it, you know, like I didn't have to crack it, you know, like you sometimes do when they're really on there. I can already see a little bit of rust or varnish or something on the, the slot there. Oh, good, we're off. So that's the screw for the bed cushion. Here is the bed cushion. This is rubber. The only thing I would wash this in is dishwashing liquid and water. I wouldn't necessarily oil this. I don't think oil will particularly harm it, but it doesn't need oil. And it might still have some good vitality left, so I'll keep that as a spare. That will save me money. And this I'll put in the Crud Cutter with the parts from the cam stack right now. And then it'll be cleaned as well. So nice little project for us today. The 2 screwdrivers I'm using is the long flathead, and then quite often you see me using the Chapman with that shape of a head. I forget what that's called. Is that hollow ground? Something. Both good tools anyway. And I'm just going to move it over. I know you thought I was going to go to work and forget about you guys like I always do, didn't you? I almost did. You caught me. But I am going to use the longer screwdriver because I'm behind a camera. There. Now that one looks kind of shiny. Well, there's the bed cushion. And it's not looking too bad either. Here's the screw, the bed cushion screw. Now the threads look grimy, but the head must have been rubbing on the, you know, it must have been in the right place that it was hitting the ground or whatever, something to keep it, or the table or whatever. It may have been, you know, I think the rubber may have been too shallow, and so the head was kind of sticking out beyond the bed cushion rubber and was actually, you know, hitting a table or on a cement floor, and that's why it's shiny. I don't think it's because it was in a better neighborhood than the other 3 screws. Anyway, this one on the bottom, I can tell right now. Oh, you thought I was going to forget again, didn't you? Well, I'm going to turn it, since I'm doing such a, trying to do a professional job. What do you do? Oh, I'm a professional cleaner. Oh, what do you clean? Everything. Can you see that? I think you can. I mean, I hope that you can. I don't really know. Let's pull this a little closer. And you know what? Let's raise it up again with my support. Where is ya? Get you there. There, that one's coming off. But there is some stickiness still, some resistance. You know, it's not like they're... And this one is rusty on top. It wasn't hitting the, the ground or the table or whatever. Let's check these out. Here's the screw. So you can see some grime in the slot there, in that flathead slot. And of course, the threads usually, there's always some grime, I find, even if they're not too bad. Like, I don't know if the threads on a screw always touch the opposing or matching thread, you know, tightly or firmly. Anyway, we got this one more. And then we're going to get into the real fun. Yeah, man. Yeah, lady. Ah. Oh, that one cracked a little. Did you hear that little crack? It's stuck in there. It's good we're doing this. You guys are smart, man. I'm glad I got you on my side. My machines are going to be nice machines. I really enjoy these machines. You should try it. So there's the screw. It's grubby, especially in the slot, in the head, the slot head. And of course the threads they're a little grubby, but you know, really, I mean, the machine is not a train wreck. So I'm going to put those 4 screws in, where I'm going to put this. I'm going to put them in here. Those things, because that's where the crud cutter is going. So we'll just get Gina out of the way for now. And the one thing I do want to show you that might be of interest to some of you, I think, is that I got a recent delivery of supplies. Let me adjust my chair. My back is getting a little sore. Just bear with me. I'm going to move the tripod so I can get my legs. So quickly, this is what I got. These are bed cushions. And there's 10 in each package, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, so there's 10, 20, 40, No, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It's 50 of those. And then the other things I got, are electric brushes. These will fit 400 series and 500 series motors. There's no springs or covers with them. They come, what they have on the rounded end is a spring. The spring is already in there. It should be good. This is just a new brush. So that's a pair of them. And then what I have here are, I have 5 pairs of the 2 springs. The needle thread tension pin. And then there's the beehive spring. Not pin, this is a spring too. So it's like a lot of times it's just called a check spring. So, but it's a tension spring, goes on the upper needle thread tension system. So I got 5 of those because I didn't have any of those. All my machines, they were good, fortunately, but I was concerned that I could get to a point where all of a sudden, I'm having to stop a project for a little spring. And it takes me about, like this order that I just showed you, I ordered that on December 3rd and I received it on January 14th. And this is about my 2nd or 3rd order. And that's about the usual timeline. I think it's my 3rd order. And that's about the usual timeline. But the place where I get it from, Central Michigan Sewing Supplies, and I'm not associated or anything, I'm just telling you that's where I get it from. They're near Grand Rapids, a place called Tustin, Michigan. And really good, they got a lot of stuff. So if you're into vintage sewing machines, and they cover a lot of brands, but go there. But when they ship stuff out of there, it goes through the U.S. Postal Service Chicago Black Hole. Yeah, anyway, enough about that. Let's get some crud cutter here. The thing I want to tell you, before we do the crud cutter, I'm going to take this plastic part off. I'm going to take it apart right now, and because I don't want the plastic to go into the crud cutter, so I'm going to aim you up here a little better, get you a little closer, aim you up some more, and we'll, where's those 3 screws? That's, oh my goodness, that's a little large. This one should fit. Look at that, fits perfectly. Oh, that's tight. You would think that it had been on there since 1961, which is when it was made. Let's see how to crack. Okay, that one cracked a little easier. Where's this one? Wow, that was a slow crack, but it was intense. It needed some pressure, some steam. Well, yes, we're going to get that. I'm not even, I think it's plastic. I don't know if it's Bakelite or plastic or what it is. But I don't want it in crud cutter anyway. I guess if I threw it in there and then washed it off, it would be okay. So what the hey, eh? But that's one of the screws. Have I still got you in focus there? Good. Because I get looking at what I'm doing, not looking through the camera. Yeah. You don't need to see the box. You know what a plastic container looks like. It just gets in the way. But good. Oh, it's good, slow, steady work, isn't it? For me. There. Ooh, that's tight. Paper towels right here. See, and you know what? Before we go to that, let's try something else. This is the pin. This is the post for that. And this is held in position with that. They work in tandem. So let me just see if I can get that post to move. I can. And I've already got the screws off that, but the black thing is coming up with the pin, but it's not coming up evenly. So where's my long screwdriver again? Now it seems to have settled when I there. Maybe that knock in the pin. Now I can unscrew the toothed gear from the cam stack. Oh, it's pretty firm. Let me get back here. I know I'm missing you. Oh, now it's loosened up a bit. So, because it's wetness, there's some moisture there, that's gunk. If it was hard and dry, it'd be varnish. I have a tendency to call it all gunk, even when it's varnished. So that came out of there. Oopsie daisy. And now, we still have the post coming through the discs. And we still have that there. So let me try again to see if I can, loosen things up a little now. I've got to go in on the telephoto so I can see better. Saving wear and tear on my glasses. Now I'm just tapping it a bit, because I don't know why. Oh, it came off. There. We got it. Cool. So, now the fun begins, right? It does. Because we're going to take this is the bottom disc. And we're going to take it off. And we're going to turn it over. And we're going to see that right there is the number 1. And when we go to put this number 1 disc back on the stack, which I still have together from the factory, because I haven't changed anything else except just taking this 1 disc, we put the 1 We do not want to see the 1 on the disc once we replace it. We want to see nothing. We want to see the holes and the middle. We don't want to see the 1. And so that's for all of them. That's how it works. So that's 1. This one is 2. Let me see if I can just pull that pin out entirely. I can. They're really oily. I think they have more oil than they really need, which is okay, I guess. I can't complain too vociferously about that. This one is number... number 3. This is number 4. Five. They do need to be cleaned, even just with the old oil. There's cam disc number 6. And there's number 7. So we'll put them all in here. We'll keep that thing out and wash it separately. Put them all in here. Excuse me. And then, excuse me. Where did my crud cutter is in this old, I've got it marked KK. It's in this old spray bottle. So all I'm doing is I'm just spraying that on the parts in there. This is 100% crud cutter. So you don't want to get it on paint, like on the machine paint. If you do, wash it off right away. And it's a degreaser. So it's not good for bearings. You know, it has to be, you put the crud cutter on to degrease everything, wash it with soap and water, then rinse it, then dry it and blow dry it, and then lightly, correctly oil it or grease it as required, and continue from there. Now you can see already that the crud cutter has turned, a grimy color. What I'm going to do is, I don't know what I did with my big bottle of crud cutter. I must have moved it. I was doing some cleaning in here the other day. Well, there's one of those. I dropped my springs. Sorry for jerking you around there, guys. I don't want that to be there. I need it to be over there. Let me line you up again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the top off of this and dump the crud cutter right in the thing, because I want to get everything. I want to get all those discs. They're not going to be in there for long. Ideally, they should be in there for 5 or 10 minutes. But there. So I have lots of crud cutter. Crud cutter is made by Rust-Oleum. And here in Montreal, I get it in Canada, Ontario, Quebec, I get it at Home Depot. Canadian Tire in Canada also sometimes. So okay, we got that. Let me get the brush here, and we'll give it a stir. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this, and let's see. So there's some, what do we have? Yeah, we have some grime. And just even brushing it, I think you can see that it's coming off. Just after maybe 2 minutes in there. But it is 100% and it's really good. So The other thing I want to try and do is get some crud cutter inside the open space there, the vacant space where my, let me see, I'll just use my hands. Are you having fun yet? You know what, I am. I used to, when I started doing this, I was a little bit scared, This is cleaning up, I mean, it wasn't really, really bad anyway, but there, like, especially on the blades, there was a little bit of what I would call more grunge than varnish. It may have been, gunk, more gunk than varnish, but it may have been, gunk. I mean, eventually gunk will become varnish, So I think we're doing a pretty good job here. We, oh, wait a second, we could do a better job down there. You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, I need to do that. Is that working? You know what it is? Because I was thinking, well, maybe I should just grab a toothbrush. But it's pretty much come clean. I'm really pleased. So that's crud cutter. It's good stuff. Couple of things I want to point out here is that this is where those 3 screws that kept this cap on, that's the threads for those screws. The other thing I noticed was turning this, where is it? There's one there. There's a square port and another one there and another one there. And they seem to line up with those receptacles for the screws. So I'm wondering why. Is it that you can come here, take the screws off without taking them actually out, just raise them, undo them and loosen them and raise them up, and then put some oil on and then screw them in, and that's where the oil comes out? Is that what? I don't know. I really don't. I've never noticed that, I just noticed it right now while I was playing around with the brush. So that's food for thought anyway. So that's that one. What I'm going to do with him. I'm going to take him right now before I do any of the others. And I'm going to get some, I'm going to put my crud cutter brush and my crud cutter container aside. I'm going to get this empty container. And where did I put my my soapy dopey brush? Well, it doesn't matter. I've got about 20 of them right here. So we're in good shape, friends. Did I already thank you guys for coming here? I really appreciate your support. You really help my channel. And, I've already let you know how likes and subscribes and hitting the notification button and leaving comments helps the channel too. Thanks. And here's some dishwashing liquid. 100% dishwashing liquid. No water. There'll be water in a second. I have water in that container there. So, just for you guys and for the stack part, I have a brand new brush. And I'm just going to start in the threads. And I'm going to be generous. And I've discovered, since starting to play with this stuff, dishwashing liquids, dishwashing soap is really an effective cleaner. It's a very good cleaner, considering that we do our dishes in it and end up drinking and eating out of those dishes. I think I've done all the teeth here, so I'll turn it on its end and then I'll get the rim here. I could have cleaned that a little better with the crud cutter I see now. I should have taken a toothbrush to it. But you know what? You can always take, I'm not going to take a toothbrush to it, doesn't need it. But you can always take a toothbrush to it no matter what stage of the cleaning you're at there. So we're going inside. into the subterranean depths of Journey to the Center of the cam stack. There's a good shot of those little square access or whatever those ports are, oil, or maybe it's just for ambience, for air or something. I don't know. It's kind of, I'm gonna have to check that out, see if I can find out. You know, by all means, if any of you know what they're for, or you know, have a theory, you know, throw it out. Maybe we can, you know, check it out. You know, so I'm pretty much done up there. I'm going to do right there again, and I want to make sure on the inside I'm kind of hitting those ports on the inside wall there. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to call that clean. I'm going to set the soap over there. I'm going to bring the water, and I'm going to use my little soapy brush and rinse it off and scrub. Just put it in the water, give it a bath, and yeah, just have fun, you know, like getting it all wet and watery and splash around with soap. And then I'm going to grab a paper towel and just wrap it and let it sit. So I've let it sit in that dirty piece of paper towel. I'm going to get that out of the way. I'm going to put that on that stuff. And I'm going to look behind me, make sure there's nothing that gets blown when I turn this hairdryer on. My wall seems to be falling apart. It's not the wall, it's an empty blue recycling bag that I cut in half. And I use that as my backdrop because I get splashing around with this stuff. So that's come out pretty good. It's nice and dry. And we cleaned it with crud cutter, degreased it. And we washed it. And we blow dried it. So right now, right away, we're going to get some Tri-Flow. These guys do not pay me. I just believe in this stuff from experience. And I'm going to put some in there. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put some in there. And some in there. So I put oil in those 3 holes in case there was, I don't think there should have been any degreaser left in there because you saw how we bathed this in the water and went after it. And then anyway, so I'm going to oil the rest of it. At this point, I am oiling the gears. Remember that grease is time release oil. And I use Tri-Flow. Now I'm going to those ports on the side there, and I'm putting oil in there too. And so this thing is dripping in oil, and that's a good way to leave it. And just let it sit. I'm going to let that sit probably for, well, until I make the video. You know, checking out the final oiling and putting it together. But anyway, so we got that done. Now let's get back to these guys here because we're going on a half an hour already. Boy, oh boy, I must be long-winded and slow. Look how grungy that water is now. I'm telling you, this curd cutter, especially the 100% stuff, it just cuts right through. So, And now I'm just gonna, these discs don't have any oil ports. Like they've got, you know, a couple of places for the post and the screw, but you know, I'm just gonna throw them in together and maybe pour, once I get everything in there, maybe pour a little more dishwashing liquid in there. And then let it sit for a bit. And if I was going to let it sit, I could probably just let it sit for 10, you know, 20 minutes. And that's what I'll do. Like I'll go and I'll have a break, or if it's supper time, I'll go and have supper or whatever. Or go for a walk for half an hour, you know, or 20 minutes or something. This is nice. I mean, I haven't done this. I haven't used like the assembly line wash and clean. Geez, let me back this up so you can see where I'm putting these things. Sorry about that. I finally slipped. I thought I was going to remember to keep the whole thing in focus, but I slipped. Thanks for coming here, you guys. Please come back again, please. But yeah, it's interesting. So all these guys that are in there now, I'm just going to kind of scoop them up. It's screws and stuff. We'll see once I get it up here what I got. Okay, it's the spring washer that goes on that stack center pin. There's two. There's two. So that means there's one more of each. I think is there three of each or just two of each? Well, there's three for the cap. These little ones are the trio for the cap. So they're accounted for. That's for that. I don't know where those two, I don't think those, I'll be able to look back on my video and see where those came from. That's what I do with those. I'm going to put my hand in there again. I got one. Which one did I get? So that's the third one for this device, which I have to put in there and wash anyway. So I think I don't think there's another screw in there. There was two screws and three screws. And we got the three screws and we got the two screws. So I'm going to get some more of my dishwashing liquid. Like that. And I'm going to wash these things. You know what, with things that big, just like oiling them, you can wash them with your like that. Yeah, they're getting clean on the inside there. And they're looking good. What number is this one? Probably number, well, it's not number 8, so it's number 6, because there is no 8. It only goes up to 7. Then we'll throw that in there. And then we'll get this next one. This one next. This next one. So yeah, so that's, you know, there's the glamour and the glory right there, you know, washing these things off. But, and like these things, like this one, the 500s, they were built in the early 60s, like 61, 60, maybe 62. And, you know, so they're what, 60 years old? You know, and then the 406, the 306s, the 306Ks that I have, you know, that one, Gloria, it was built in 1949, you know? So it's 72 years old. And now Gloria was looked like it had always been very well maintained, and then recently it had a restoration. And the gentleman, it had belonged to his 92-year-old mom who went into a home, and he tried to sell it, didn't sell it, so he donated it to the church, and they listed it for 150 Canadian. I bought it for 75 Canadian, and the darn thing had been rewired. It was really, yeah, you'll see it. I've already got videos up about it. It's in the 306 K playlist as well. So I dropped a screw. Where's my magnet? Where is my magnet? It hit, oh, there it is right there. It hit my heel. I don't need the magnet. It's just that I got soap on my fingers now. And that goes in there. And then these babies go in there too. So all those little screws with a little bit of soap. So these I'll just put over there on the paper towel, a grubby paper towel. I'll let the water soak off. And I can even turn them over and let them get kind of half dry. But I'm going to blow dry them right away once I move along here. And then lightly oil them. So that's all the discs. I have all the screws and that spring washer and the post. So I'm just gonna leave them in the soapy. It's actually supposed to be rinse water, but it's soapy now. And I need to dry my rubber glovies. Not my rubber ducky, my rubber glovies. And what I'm gonna do is get one of, here, take a look where I got them all lined up. Like little soldiers over there. Isn't that cool? Let me get that out of your view. All 7 of the discs, yes. Okay. So, I'm gonna wipe it off. And then I'm not quickly, but I'm going to reasonably reach I was holding on to it with the pliers, the needle nose. We can see how successful that was. Isn't it? You guys are great. 42, this is my longest video yet. But anyway, friends, if you're still watching, that's great. At this point, I'm going to finish up alone because this might end up being an hour. I'm not going to be assembling it.